Hi, this is Mrs. Cruz, and the purpose for this video is to go over how you're supposed to complete your weekly logs. So as you can see, the weekly logs already were assigned to you, earlier this morning. So you hopefully should have access, and some of you I know were already maybe started working on this, so good job. And they're due on Friday, April 24th. Don't forget to submit it by April 24th. And last week, the directions were very similar. I'm not going to read through all of them, but I just wanted to point out a few differences this week. So for step 5, it says to fill out your current grades for quarter 4 on the grade check. Since I know this is barely week 2, I understand that maybe some teachers don't have a grade yet. So for this week, you may write down NA if you do not have a grade. And this week, the focus for your goal is on being productive. And if you notice, part A, it says, watch the video about being productive. So let me show you what that looks like. On the next slide, you'll see where it says being productive and it has a video. The directions tell you to watch the video that gives tips on being productive. Then pick one of the suggestions in the video as your goal for the week. If you're not really sure what does it mean to be productive, the definition's right here. So if you're productive, it means that you're doing or achieving a lot, you're working hard and getting good results. So you just play the video, which is directly here.
What do you think about when you see the word productivity? Maybe you think about focusing on a single...
Okay, so watch the whole thing. And then on the next slide, it has your topic, being productive. Then you're going to set a goal. How will you be productive this week? And then just make sure you type directly on the slide. So you would just put like, my goal is to be productive by, then make sure you specifically tell me what you'll do. Then follow the steps to answer the other ones, like how are you going to track your progress? How are you going to make sure that your goal is attainable? What are you going to do to make sure that your goal is meaningful to you? And how are you going to make sure that you have, that you're completing it by Friday? So just please continue to type those goals. Make sure you're doing this every Monday, just like we would in class. Set your goals. On the next slide, I created an example on what your slides could look like each day. So I took a sample student's schedule, and as you can see, this student has Avid first period, PE second period, 7A third, Math 7 fourth, 7I with me 5th, and then this person has history second. I'm going to keep the schedule mostly the same, but for the sake of hours, I'm just going to change it so that it also says Avid second period. And remember, if you don't want to type this whole thing over and over again, all you need to do is once you type it in once, you could basically just paste it in the other pages. So like I already typed in mine once, I'm just going to paste it here. But remember we said that I'm going to switch over so that Avid is second period. Just for this example so that it makes more sense to you guys. So we'll flip-flop these. PE with Miss Paprika. Okay, so when you're completing these weekly logs, the goal is that you're really creating the routine where you start your day really thinking about all your classes and deciding like, what do I need to do? So in order to do that, like the best practice for you to do is just to open up your Google Classroom. And I'm just going to start it in order with Miss Vervica's class since that was the first period class, right? So if I look at Miss Vervica's class here, it looks like I already have something that's due today and something that's due on Wednesday. So if I look into my class to see what is happening, remember that's really important that you read each assignment carefully. So I'm going to start here because it looks like this is the first assignment that was posted, the mindful breathing quiz. So let me read the directions. It says multiple choice. Make sure to mark all answers that apply. Some questions have more than one option to mark. All the information is in the mindful breathing PowerPoint. Okay, so that means I should go back because the mindful breathing PowerPoint looks like it could be, let me look here. oh, see, I see a PowerPoint and I see a different attachment. So it says, please read through the PowerPoint that's posted and then listen to the audio that will guide you through your Mindful Monday practice. After you do both activities, there's a short quiz. So that's the one that we just read. And the quiz will be on the PowerPoint, on what the PowerPoint covers. So please read carefully and take notes if you like. You are welcome to refer to the PowerPoint while taking the quiz if needed. So it looks like I have, this is due today by midnight. And it looks like I have to go through these PowerPoints, complete this practice, and even answer her question that she has here. So that's where I would go back to my weekly logs, and I would say, for Miss Viveka today, I have my mindful PowerPoint due. She also has a mindful activity. Okay, then it said Wednesday. I'm going to go to Wednesday. She has a quiz that I have to take. So mindful quiz due. Okay, now for my to-do list there, I'm going to for sure finish view and finish mindful PowerPoint. I'm going to complete mindful activity. And even though it's not due until Wednesday, I'm going to try to finish the quiz tomorrow because that way I won't, and remember, we can copy and paste this left side. Sorry, I just remembered. So let me do that for my teachers so I don't forget. And I remember, once you do it once, you can just do the same steps for all the other days. That way you have all the teachers' periods and names filled out and you don't have to type it in over and over again. Let's see if it works on this one. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, so I was saying that even though the quiz is not due until Tuesday, I'm going to add it to my to-do list here because it's best to take the quiz when the information's fresher in my mind. So take mindful quiz. Okay, that looks good. Now as far as Avid goes, if I look at my Avid page, here it is. So it looks like for me, we already have two things coming up. So one of them is the weekly logs that I assigned. They look similar to last week. We're just looking at those now, right? So that's due on Friday. And then there's something that's called the TRF and Jamboard for Wednesday's tutorial. So I'm not sure what that means, but I'm going to add it for now. And by the way, this is going to be another video. So please watch the video about the TRF and Jamboards so you can get a little bit more detail about that. So for Mrs. Cruz's Avid class, I'm going to put on Wednesday at 9 a.m. You have the TRF and Jamboard due. Okay, then we said on Friday, your weekly logs are due. Okay, and then for our class, it kind of mentioned that we have a tutorial this week, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more. But here's our schedule, actually. So you have a tutorial that is going to happen at 12:30. And then I'm going to ask for you guys to go into a Zoom session at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. So I'm going to add both of those into like what's due. So on Tuesday, 2 o'clock, Zoom session. Then we said, wait, sorry, that's supposed to be Tuesday. Okay, and then we said on Wednesday, you have a 12:30 tutorial. Remember that there'll be a separate video to give you more information about that. So now, just to break down my steps as far as like Avid Class goes, my goal for Monday will be to complete the goal that's on these slides about productivity. Okay, then I'm going to make sure that I fill out my Monday slides, which is this current slide that I'm working on right now. I just have to go through all my classes, and then I'm going to look for a point of confusion for my TRF and Jamboard, which, as I mentioned, watch the other video to find out a little bit more about that. Okay? And I don't have anything due today technically, so I'm going to leave that blank for now. So I'm not going to go through, actually, just one more thing for Tuesday that I should add for Avid is that by tomorrow, not only should I complete Tuesday's slide, but I'm going to make it my goal to complete the TRF and Jamboard. Okay? I'm not going to go through the other classes, but just know that like I wanted to show you the steps I would take in going through all of my classes. This is something that you should be practicing at the beginning of your day. That way that you have like a set game plan, because you want to avoid only focusing on one class. For example, today, even though I don't have anything due for Avid and I have something due for PE, yeah, it's really important that I finish my PE activity, but I also want to leave time to work on all of my steps for Avid so it doesn't become overwhelming and I don't have a lot to do. Then if you go to the end of the slide, slide 12 has the difference where you're filling out your current grades and looking for citizenship. So like, for example, actually, it shouldn't say include citizenship grade. We're changing that one too. But what you're going to do is you're going to say like, what's your grade in that class? So for example, if you have an A in PE and you have like a 95%, for example, maybe I have no missing assignments, I turn everything in. Then you're going to color code how you feel in that class. Green means that you feel great. Yellow means you feel okay. Red means that you don't feel so good. If you're getting an A and you have no missing assignments, that's for sure like a green status. So you're just going to click on the box, click where it says, you see a little paint bucket and it says fill color, and then I would choose green. And then you would do the same thing for all of your other classes. So remember, like, maybe you feel yellow, maybe you feel red, whatever you feel, just click it in this section so that we can get a little visual on how you're doing so far in those classes. And then the last step for the week is just to make sure that you reflect back on your goal. So repeat what your goal was about productivity and make sure that you answer each step by clicking the boxes and filling in the information. And that concludes this video about our weekly logs. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.